This episode is not sponsored, but we encourage you to help support the small businesses, charities, and organisations that we mention.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Our Circle. I'm Rhiannon.
And I'm Jess.
And today we're doing an episode that I've wanted to do for a little while. I feel like that's my catchphrase at the moment. I wanted to talk about zodiac signs. I am not an astrologist. I'm not one of those people.
Not either of those.
No, but I'm really interested in it. And I think I've gained more and more of an interest in it over the last couple of years, because whenever I've happened to, I don't know, just look into it, I've really end up kind of having a nosedive into things, because so much of it I relate to. What they have to say about my star sign or my zodiac sign, I really sort of, I don't know, it's spot on every time I've read things, not necessarily horoscopes, but just the overall traits of someone who, so I'm a Sagittarius, just FYI, and everything that I've read about them, I'm like, oh, that's me. Yep, that's me. Oh, that's me too. And I then found out more through different podcasts and stuff, and I found out about birth charts, and I didn't really have any knowledge about what a birth chart was until obviously, researching a bit more about it. So for anyone who didn't know, a birth chart is basically a chart that explains where the planets were at the time of your birth. And there's different websites that can calculate it for you. And when you sort of, I try and do my homework a little bit on this, like checking a bunch of different ones just to see if they're all saying the same thing, and they are. So I'm like, okay, cool, it's legit, or as far as I'm aware. And I just find it really interesting. They all mean different things, and because of the things that I've found out, it sort of made me feel a bit like it made me feel validated, as in my existence in the universe. It felt like the universe was validating my existence, and that was quite a comforting feeling to me. And I don't know what everyone else believes, but I'm not someone who is particularly religious. I think I'm a lot more spiritual, but I think having that sort of confirmation that I'm meant to be here is very comforting to me and quite nice. So I don't know, I just thought if anyone else needs that type of validation, or maybe they want to find out a little bit more, have a little nosedive. But Jess, however, doesn't know much about her birth chart. So
No, and I used to read my horoscope on the train to school. So when I got the train, yeah, so you'd get those free metros on the train. Like that'd be the first thing I'd go to.
Right.
And I'd be like, I don't even know, I guess because it happened at the start of the day where I'd read it.
Okay.
I think there was a point later on in the day where I'd be like, oh, that was a load of shit, because then you'd go home and you'd read it
And
on the train on the way back, because the same newspaper someone would have left it on there. I'd either be like, oh my god, yeah, that's so accurate, and I'd think of a certain situation and be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, or I'd be like, oh no, that doesn't make sense at all. But I kind of get the comfort in it, and like you said, that you're a spiritual person, I feel like regardless what anyone believes, like whether they believe in it or not, I just think if something is harmless and it's bringing you some sort of comfort and some validation, and
absolutely,
I think like, yeah, fine, like go for it. I'm personally someone who I haven't researched into it enough. I know I've always known what star sign I am, but that's about the limit. All I know is that I'm a fire sign. And
yes,
with
you
that,
are.
I don't know if that means then fiery personality, but I guess I'll find out. You'll tell me
we're gonna get into it. But it's funny because when people talk about zodiac signs, I think instantly they think horoscopes, whereas I don't actually think that. I think more like personality traits. But horoscopes, I don't think I've really ever got crazy into them, although I say that at my current job we always read it in the morning, like start the morning off reading them. But you know what, even though like you said, sometimes you can feel a bit skeptical, just be like, oh, this is just a load of shit or something. I quite like that it makes you it's not me being dependent on what the horoscope says, it's more making me try and relate to what that message is. So say if it says, oh, you're going to be facing this, it makes me actually think about what's happening in my life that I can relate to it, whether it's not necessarily the horoscope saying this is what's going to happen, it's me being like, okay, let's relate some parallels here to what is happening in my life, and just sort of, I don't know, reprioritize or organize and stuff. So it's just more like almost like a morning planner, but from the universe. So
and also for me, like also what I found quite interesting recently
Mm.
is someone from work last week was talking about how they're really into star signs and when they're dating. So one of
Yes,
the
this
girls
is
in the
another thing,
office,
isn't it?
oh my gosh, she said Sagittarius men is a big no-no. She said she's
For
dated
her,
for her. She said that
right?
she has had multiple sort of situationships with guys
Yeah,
who are Sagittariuses,
yeah.
and it now means that next time she dates someone who's a Sagittarius, she'll probably call it off beforehand, which I find so interesting that just based on someone's star sign and without even knowing them, you've already kind of got this kind of preconception of who they could be and
Mm,
what their personality could be.
yeah. Honestly, obviously, I'm not one of those people. I'm not quite there yet. But I feel like people who feel that way, and I know this is probably a bit of a controversial comment to make, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, we shouldn't be like that. But I'm like, if they've researched this much into it, they clearly believe in that, or they've gone through the experience. Like you said, if she's experienced that every Sagittarius man she's dated has not worked out
Mm,
for her, there's probably a pattern there, or there's something
yeah,
in it there, so that is not the type of person who's compatible for her. So
right,
I'm sort of like, well, that's their experience and it's proving correct. Then I have every reason to trust their judgment for their own self, instead of where people are like, oh, just give it a try, I don't believe all of that. It's like, well, it seems to be working for them, it's accurate for them, so I don't know.
right.
Anyway, so I am going to start off by saying I'm not going to say when Jess's birthday is or anything like that, because well, I don't know how you feel about me sharing that, but also I've seen online that a lot of people actually don't like to share their actual specifics of their birth chart. It's like a superstitious thing, so I kind of want to respect
Okay.
that. But like you said, you are an Aries, so anyone can take from that what they like. um, but so I'm gonna have a just read from my screen. So I'm just popping Jess away from me. Right. So as a basic sort of like breakdown at the very bare minimum of what I've got from just an Aries zodiac sign, not so much Jess's birth chart, just breaking down Aries. So like Jess said, their element is fire. Your color is red. I don't know how you feel about that actually, because I feel like that's definitely not
Mm,
your typical
not
color
my
at all.
color.
No.
No. Can I also ask, is it different for males and females in any way?
So when you go to put your the data in for to calculate your birth chart, it asks if you're male, female, or they, which I think
Mm,
is very interesting, because I wonder if you're putting they, it's either coming from a perspective that like someone's like, oh, I don't want to give away who I am, sort of thing, or if
right.
it's them saying, as in the birth chart or whatever, being like, you will identify as they, sort of thing.
Interesting.
Because I
Very
have no
interesting.
idea how much it goes into it, but since I'm aware that you identify as female, that's what I put for you, if
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yep.
I don't understand what this part is. It says quality cardinal. Don't know what the hell that means.
Mm.
Apparently, your day is a Tuesday. Your ruler is Mars. Your greatest compatibility is a Libra and a Leo. And I wondered what Joe was.
I think it's a cancer.
Your lucky numbers are
Oh.
apparently 1, 8, and 17.
Oh.
And then it says the Aries traits. So it says that their strengths are they're courageous, determined, confident, enthusiastic, optimistic, honest, and passionate. Their weaknesses are they're impatient, moody, short tempered, impulsive, and aggressive.
I don't know why you're laughing here. It's not reflecting me whatsoever.
Not at all. Aries likes comfortable clothes, taking on leadership roles, physical challenges, and individual sports. Jess is so competitive, even though she doesn't realize it. So I think this is spot on, personally.
This is so weird because recently Joe was saying how I was talking to Joe about how competitive Mila's becoming.
Yeah.
Like, if I need to spur her on in something like swimming, I'm like, come on, keep kicking. I'll have to say to her, like, I'm gonna beat you, or like, I'm winning the race, and then she'll like go for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know where she's getting this from. Like, I was like, I don't feel like I'm really competitive. And Joe was like, are you serious? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Clearly I'm
Both
missing
you
something.
and Joe are competitive. So that's just hysterical that either of you are like, oh, why is our
We're
child
both
competitive?
blind
Oh,
to
I
it.
wouldn't have a clue. um, Aries dislikes inactivity, delays, work that does not use one's talents.
Oh my God, brilliant. Delays, yes. Delays in anything.
um,
Inactivity. If you're lazy, I've got no patience for it.
and then it breaks down a whole load of different things that, I mean, everyone is more than welcome to go and look up what an Aries sign is and all the different traits and things that they have. They also break down how Aries are with friends and family, career and money, things like that. And then it also says compatible signs Aries should consider. And to me, compatible doesn't necessarily mean romantic or anything.
Mm.
And this is why I think not this validates why I think you and I get on so well, not why I think we get on so well, I just think it validates it.
You would have cut me off if you found out we weren't compatible.
No, never. I'd be like, okay, this doesn't work. But it says that you're compatible with Sagittarius, with Leo, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So yeah,
Okay.
take with that what you like. But I thought I would move over now to your birth chart. So the way that I'm trying to, so obviously I'm not a professional here, so everyone please take with what I'm saying like with a pinch of salt here, but the way that I can understand it is that you have your birth chart and you can look at it as it sort of looks like a circle, and with the circle it's split in different ways. And so imagine a circle, instead of a clock, it's different signs or different planets, and dependent on where or when you were born, you'll sort of you'll have different marks on that circle, if that makes sense. And so for example, if a lot of your marks are in the northern hemisphere of that circle, that tends to mean something. If they're on the left hand side, that tends to mean something. There are all these different meanings and interpretations and understanding. So I can't even begin to try and break that down myself. Like, it's something I'd have to keep like looking into. So I'm currently using Astro Cafe Astrology. It's the one that I know that so many people use, and it's the one that I use regularly. And it breaks it down really nicely, but it's also very, very wordy. So I'm again not going to go straight like crazy into this, but I'm going to just sort of try and break down a couple of things I think Jess will find interesting. One of the main things that I think people have started saying quite a lot, I think, as maybe on social media and stuff, is like what your big three are. So it's like you're a sun something, you're a moon something, and you're a rising something. So Jess happens to be her sun is in Aries, so she's an Aries sun or sun Aries. Her moon is in Libra, and her sort of rising, which is relating to Mercury, is an Aries as well. So we can break that down now. But there's sorry, and that was the other thing. There's also houses. So each house represents something. So if you say like your sun is in the second house or something, that's like to do with maybe your love life, or everything like basically has an explanation of every element of life. It's so yeah, it's really detailed, and it's so interesting to read. And I know I'm not doing it justice, me just sort of rambling on about my sort of understanding of everything. This is why I recommend everyone to actually look it up themselves. I'll put the link in the description as well, so you can find it all out.
Can I ask one question? Something that I've heard quite a few times, but I don't know what it means, and I wonder if you know what it means.
Okay.
Mercury's in retrograde.
Yes. So again, this isn't gospel, don't go for my definition, but it's basically referring to how the imbalance in the universe is causing a lot of problems for people. So whenever Mercury's in retrograde, things seem to just be going to shit for people. And you know, each time Mercury's in retrograde, I fucking believe it, because it's usually not usually shitty stuff's happening.
So that's like a global thing. It's not just like
a universal
signs or anything like that. Oh right, okay. So has Mercury been in retrograde for
forever?
Like 3 years?
I mean, Mercury's in retrograde several times of the year, and it seems like most years at the moment. So yeah, you're not wrong there. But anyway, let's get into Jess's birth chart. So the way that the information that you put into these, I don't know, calculator, is you don't have to put your name. You can just put your initial. You can put your pronoun, and you put the date that you were born, the time that you were born, if you know what that is, and luckily Jess found out for me, and then I put that in, and then the place that you were born. So that's all in reference to the location of where you were and where the moon and the sun and all the planets were when you were born, which I think is really cool, just in general, that they're able to, have that on record. Okay, so the one that everyone talks about is your sun sign, which is the main one that everyone talks about. So yours being Aries. The sun represents vitality, a sense of individuality, and outward shining creative energy. So in short, that means the way that everyone sees you. So the energy that you give off is what your sun sign is.
Okay.
So from what I'm seeing here, Aries enjoys a challenge. They're happiest when their lives are moving forward and active. There's a childlike quality to all Aries sun people, and it's often quite charming. She has a strong personality and an entrepreneurial spirit. She's ambitious and self-willed, stubborn, and tenacious, which, I'm seeing that. Possible issues. Hang on, I'm trying to see it so I can see both you and this, because it's kind of funny to see your reaction. Right, there we go. Okay, so possible issues: nervousness, impulsiveness. I don't agree with this one. Wastefulness. I don't think you're wasteful. A provoking nature, restlessness, and changeability.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah.
Nervousness, restlessness, yes. I think I can be quite impulsive, although I think I got a bit better with it. But yeah, I think I react on emotion. I'm definitely
Yes, I agree with that. That's why I can't help but laugh. It says that your sun is in the second house. So it says you take pride in what you own and you have a strong drive for security. That I feel is so you, like the wanting to feel secure and stuff. You have staying power and you hate to let others down once you've made a promise. Avoid over identifying with what you have. Concentrate on proving your worth through your strong value system and your incredible ability to stick with things and with people. You take pride in the solid and secure foundations that you build, as well as the lasting relationships you aim to maintain, while being careful to avoid possessiveness. You seek a safe and secure job. You satisfy your needs, which are substantial, and you may be given to spending money impulsively. I don't think that you spend your money that impulsively. Maybe
I used to.
Yeah.
And no savings.
This is interesting. It says, as far as studying or learning goes, you're better off reading the material than you are listening to a teacher, and that these traits come from a strong need to take an active role in communications. It's very hard for you to passively listen and absorb information. Do you feel that that's...
I feel the opposite. I feel like the kind of scenario I'm thinking of is, like, for example, if I was to go around a museum, I would much rather have a tour guide take me than read everything under, like, if I was in a gallery, for example, I wouldn't want to read everything under each picture. I get really tired when I do that. I'd rather
someone do it for me.
Yeah, I'd rather someone tell. Also, I like the kind of stories and stuff that come with a tour guide telling me about things. But yeah, I don't agree with that one. But
yeah, no, that's fair enough. It says, because your ego and your mind are usually on the same page, you possess much mental energy. Which I think I agree with this. You're always in a position to think about what you want, and in many ways this is an interruption of the will. That's interesting. You're highly intelligent with your great drive to communicate with other. Why does it not say with others? Anyway, you invest a lot of pride in your intellectual capacities. You may not always listen as well as you speak. However, you might be too busy thinking about what to say next, but you're very curious, and although you enjoy expressing yourself, you usually do not dominate conversations completely, which I agree, you don't dominate. I think I dominate a lot of things because I'm just like, oh, I'm this. Your opinions are usually strong and you are an independent thinker. That is 1000% true. You tend to be proud of your opinions and thoughts, and you might easily get a bruised ego if you are not heard. If your opinions are pushed aside or ignored, or if your opinions are criticized. I'll agree with that, and in a good way. I think that's accurate to you. You're expressive and possibly a very animated speaker. You are also very witty, and others enjoy your playful and sometimes mischievous sense of humor. Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's move on from the sun. Let's go to moon. So the moon represents the emotional responses. So unconscious, predestination, and the self-image. The moon represents the emotions. The moon sign shows how a person expresses themselves when at home, at ease, and comfortable. So it's basically how you are internally.
Interesting.
Yes, very. So your moon is in Libra. The moon in Libra people have a strong need for partnership. Without someone to share their lives with, they feel utterly incomplete. This is why many people with this position get involved in marriages or living together arrangements quite young. I thought that was interesting.
Ooh.
Because this drive for harmony, peace, and sharing is so powerful, Librans are apt to do a lot of conceding. They are sympathetic and concerned for others, enjoy socializing, and revel in a good debate. This is literally you. Mental rapport with others is especially important to them. They feel safe and secure when they're in a partnership. They seem to always need to have someone tag along with them wherever they go. That made me laugh because that made me think of you when like traveling, like how you like to
100%. Like I said to you guys when we booked a trip, and I was like, yeah, I don't really care what time the flight is as long as I'm on the same flight as you guys. And the same like this weekend, I took Mila to the museum, and I was like, I really don't want to go on my own. I want someone there with me. Oh my gosh.
They can be very attractive to be around, and they are often given to flirtatiousness, rarely directly aggressive. These people win your heart with their gentle, refined ways. Oh, this is a better bit. It says short description. That's what we like. So she is sociable and popular, good judgment. She is intelligent, reasonable, liking social pleasures, potential issues, instability in loving relationships, wavering, may give too much weight to the views of others and public opinion. So basically, that
Care
sounds
too much about what people outside of the
yes,
relationship.
yes.
Interesting.
I think very
Very
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
But I think
A
it's
lot of these things are hitting the nail on the head.
right,
It's
right.
kind of freaky.
This is what I mean. Like the birth chart, I feel is very different to a horoscope. A
Yeah.
horoscope is being
That's general to anyone who is your star sign. Yeah.
exactly because one of my friends has the exact actually I've got two friends who've got the exact same birthday as me, but none of us are born in the same year. I'm so interested to find out what their birth charts say because of the different years.
Right.
Like there's a couple years difference with one of my friends who shares my birthday, and then there's one that has about an 8-year difference, and I'm really interested to know what differences there are.
Yeah, like if
Because
it's
we
wildly
are
different or
yeah,
not.
because I feel like I'm quite similar to them in some ways, but then there are certain parts of me that is very different to them, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if that has anything to do with it. So yeah, it says that your moon is in the 7th house. So again, it's this idea of partnership can be very important for her, for better or for worse. She works well in a business relationships, especially partnerships. That I can attest to being the co-podcast host. Yeah, there's a lot of things to do with the moon in here. I don't want to you know bore everyone or yourself. Like you can look into this, but it's just very interesting. And then Mercury represents communication and logical spirit. So Mercury is what a lot of people refer to as your rising something, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So your Mercury is also in Aries, so you're a rising Aries as well. So she makes quick decisions, may streamline learning, can be direct and straightforward in speech, possessing an innocent charm, and can easily motivate others with her enthusiasm. Usually she loves a heated dispute. I feel like you don't love that, but you definitely don't shy from it.
Yeah. I don't think I'll like go and seek it,
No, you
but
don't.
if the opportunity's there.
Yeah, actually,
It's
yeah,
like
thinking about it,
amazing,
yes.
yeah.
I think sometimes if there's something that's bugging you and you're like, I don't like that, I'm gonna go and speak to them. And
Depends who it is.
yeah, I think I've watched it firsthand actually.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah, I can. I won't mention it on here, but I can.
Oh, tell me after.
Because you also get like this little cheeky grin smirk on your face. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. It's like you're like, I'm gonna go and speak to someone. I'm like, oh God, okay, I'll be here. Yeah, a lively mind that quickly understands a given situation. She's very resourceful and capable, may prefer to jump into a decision, and may not have much patience with pretense. I feel like this is, if we were to like give a ratio of or a percentage of how accurate this is to you, I'd say we're about 75.
Yeah, we're high up. I
Yeah.
would go as far as to say a bit higher than that.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
there are
85.
yeah, I think certain things I'm like some things I feel like, oh, I'm not sure I can say that about myself. Do you know, like
But
there are
you
certain
can say it, Ree.
yeah, you can say
You
that.
just tell me how charming I am and how
Yeah.
lovable.
Yeah, but there are certain things I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. Maybe I've got certain things in me, but maybe it just hasn't come out yet. I don't know. I don't
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, like I said, this then goes on into all the different types of, so each moon means something, each sorry, not each moon, each planet means something. So it like goes into Venus and which house that's in. And like I said, I've said it 1,000 times, I'm gonna stop saying it, but like I'm not gonna go into detail with all of these things. I'll leave that for Jess to look at herself. But also I really encourage just anyone just out of interest to look into it. You don't have to believe in it, but I think just having a look into it and seeing if you can find things that you relate to in a birth chart, I think it's quite
know.
cool. Then to me, even seeing or reading Jess's birth chart, it made me feel like her existence was validated by the universe. That's just how I felt about it. I
Yeah.
was like, that's so cool. And then there's other compatibility things that you can find, like which birth charts are compatible, or like other people's. Does that make sense? Like, as in, I could look up what yours is and see if that's compatible with me and all that sort of stuff. So like I feel like it's cool for your friendship groups to see if almost like the universe had written your friendship to be in existence,
Oh, it's
you
a
know?
nice way to look at it. That's
Right?
really
I like it.
nice.
So I know this is a bit of a short, weird, quick episode, but I was just I really enjoy it, and I wanted Jess to sort of just hear a bit of hers, and I just thought everyone else might enjoy it. But yeah, like I said, I'll put the links in the description so you can see what yours are. But yeah, if there's any really stark sort of contrasting things written about you, please let us know. I want to find out if like this is hitting the nail head on for everyone, or
Yeah,
if
but
they're
also
like,
ask your friends first, because I didn't think I was competitive, but everyone else around me apparently thinks I am. So
well, yeah, actually maybe that could be like a fun thing for some people to do. Like if you get your birth chart, you all get it together, or download your birth chart together, but get your friends to read it with you so you can find out if you are in fact like these things.
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
remember
Sit
when
down and compare them.
when I've read through, I've read it alone, but I've screenshot it and sent it to our friend Gracie. I was like, look at this, look at this. She goes, oh my God, whenever she's read mine, being like, this is you, like you've literally been designed by the universe. I was like, oh, I know. So I think it's quite cool.
No, and I've really enjoyed hearing about it because, you know, I wouldn't say I'm like hugely skeptical to it because I don't feel like I know enough about it, but
Mm.
part of you is just like, oh, really? But hearing all of that, I mean, 85% accurate is pretty good.
I think so. And again, like I said, you can take it with a pinch of salt. You don't have to like see it as gospel. It's just interesting to see where the planets were when you were born and what that potentially says about your existence. I just think there's something really comforting about that. And yeah, that's basically what I take from it. Take that or leave it. um Within the theme of this episode, I wanted to dedicate it to a friend of mine who has well, let me read it. It says an intuitive tarot readings and Reiki healing. So I'm very much into all of these sorts of things like crystals, and I went to my first sort of like psychic fair last year, and I really enjoyed it. Again, I was a little bit skeptical of what it was going to be like, but I went there completely open-minded too. I just wanted to see what it was like, and I got chills when I was there because some of the stuff that was happening, I was like, how is this like so spot
Mm.
on? And so I really enjoy that there are people out there who do these types of things, and a friend of mine does it. He lives in Malaysia, and I believe he does these online, so you can either do it in person if you're in Kuala Lumpur, or you can do it online if you're anywhere else in the world. The account on Instagram is called 1111_tarot, so I will put that information on the screen and in the description. Please go check him out and support him. I think it's a really cool thing to be a part of, and just have someone else try and help you feel comfortable or validated, however you want to see it in your life, is a really nice thing. Again, you don't have to take it super seriously, but it's just one of those things that might provide you with a little bit of comfort. And especially for me, when I first had a tarot card reading, I didn't tell the person anything about me, and I think sometimes getting validation from people who don't know you is also just as validating as having the people
Mm.
that love and know you so well. It's like, oh wow, you don't know me, and you're saying these things
Yeah.
that are accurate and I relate to. So yeah, I know I just spoke a lot to you all. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, follow, and as we said, comment and let us know what your birth chart said. And we'll see you for our next episode. Bye.
Bye.